Now we review Transformers 1. Does it feel like they're biting off Godzilla? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I have seen the latest animated Transformers film, Transformers 1, I think. I honestly don't remember. They don't really do a title drop in there so much as I recall, but yeah, for every 1,000 subscribers, I gotta purchase one of these bracelets from 4Ocean. 4Ocean pulls a pot of trash out of the ocean every time I do that. If you'd be so kind as comment, like, and subscribe, you'd be doing your part for a better world. Now, Transformers 1, it takes us to a world where the Transformers live in a class society run by Sentinel Prime, and, you know, there's Transformers who can transform, and there's miners who can just mine. They cannot transform, and the reason they cannot transform is there is a cog in the chest of every Transformer that gives them the ability to transform, okay? The miners are mining because the matrix of leadership has been lost in a war. The surface is controlled by the enemy, I think. And they need the energon that they mine from the planet in order to, you know, fuel their society. So energon is their form of food. And, you know, it's like the miners, they just have to keep mining and mining and mining and mining while the Transformers are leading a better life, all right? This is all because of a war that the Transformers lost, where the Matrix was lost, okay? And then, you know, you've got Orion Pax and basically Proto-Optimus Prime. He's in the Superman colors, I noticed that. You've got Megatron, Proto-Megatron, beforehand Bumblebee, and that one chick Transformer that I don't remember the name of. Okay, and they exist. They're all miners and capable of transforming, and they have to go find the MacGuffin, the Matrix of Leadership. Understand something. My first introduction to Optimus, or to Sentinel Prime, was in the I think it was a Michael Bay film. And, you know, I didn't know anything about the character. This is not in continuity with that. You cannot consider this a prequel to that. This is definitively its own thing. In this particular world, Cybertron is a living being, and it bestows the Matrix of Leadership onto you. And this is basically the origin story, or an origin story, of the Autobots and the Decepticons, who are both Transformers. And there is a third faction, I forget who they are. They're basically the Robo-Squid people. And the Robo-Squid people are just pure evil, whereas the dichotomy between Optimus Prime and Megatron is they both wanted the same thing. They wanted freedom, justice, and to reach their full potential. It's just one of them had limitations and the other one didn't. You know, and this is actually very, very simple, or very common in storytelling. I mean, if you look at, say, Waking Ned Divine, you know, the hero of the story, I forget his name, is essentially greedy, but he has limits. And the villain of the story, she's greedy but has no limits. She's like, I'm going to take it all for myself. This is the difference between the hero and the villain. They generally want, or they often want, the same thing. It's just one has limits and the other one doesn't. You know, if you look at Alan Quatermain in King Solomon's Mines, Alan Quatermain wants to find the jewels and get rich, and the Germans want to find the jewels and fund their war. The difference being, Quatermain doesn't go around hurting people to get what he wants. The Germans are evil and will stop at nothing. That's the difference. So you have that dichotomy. Now, I have to admit, this This movie reminded me of my college days. And in my college days, I was a theater major at a certain point, and the people who were making money in theater were teachers, and they were like, yes, making money is for us. This school is here for us. You're just here to give us money, to support us. That's what the miners are like in this movie. That's what I remember from my college days, and that's what that reminded me of. So yes, the frustration of being an automaton toiling in the American economy is present here. It is a present kind of a thing. If you're a modern American living in this world where you feel like you can't get a leg up, this is a movie that's going to appeal to you. I mean, my inner 14-year-old was like, yes, this is awesome! And I will say, for being a Transformers movie, for being something that was designed for kids, this movie's pretty brutal. I mean, there are a bunch of guards who are defending a certain character, and they're just getting wiped out left and right. And you're like, wow. I mean, do their lives not matter as much as this one guy's? Because, they're people too, they're Transformers, but they're characters too. They're real things with family. I mean, I don't know how it works in this particular world. I don't know if Transformers have parents, but apparently they are born. That is a plot point in this, that they are born a certain way. And we never see what that way is. We don't understand how they're born, but there is clearly a concept. This is kind of like a beehive society where, the queen bee creates drones, really. I kind of get that feel, but it's never expressly stated. So yeah, there's a lot of the modern frustration in the world we live in where we're all just kind of, working in the mine, trying to make a living, trying to survive, and being pushed. And that is something that it's not 100% what this is about, but it's there. It's an element that's there. It's an element that's going to appeal to the general population. Beyond that, I do have to admit, there's a lot of cool, like there are these robotic deer things, and it kind of feels like they didn't have the budget to create more of the wild cyber creatures. The cyber creatures and the cyber landscape seemed pretty limited, and that's probably because of budget constraints, but they were still cool to look at. They were very interesting. The deer had these sort of antler things that detected their environment and lit up, and that was a fun sort of a thing. Looking at this digital landscape, these are all things that they feel like they're going to be Lego sets at some point. I'm pretty sure that there's going to be some toys made for this movie, and it does suffer a certain level from the Michael Bay problem, which is, or what is the problem? Is it the DC? It's a common issue in modern cinema. You have a bunch of things that just look so much like each other that they kind of blur together. And that's one of the issues here, is that, yes, there are a lot of factions. Like, there's a faction called the High Guard. I guess if you're a Transformers fan, you may know about them. I've never heard of them before. It's a common name. You've got the bad guy faction. You've got the miners, are technically a faction, and then you've got the Transformers, who are the main faction. And all of them kind of look alike. I mean, knowing the difference between them, it's not easy to spot. And it's like, when you get like your Independence Day 2, one of the problems with that movie is like, okay, you've got the human planes, which are based on the alien technology. You've got the alien planes. Now they're all flying together. And it's just this big soup of explosions and awesome, but it's hard to understand what's really happening. The bee character, the Bumblebee character, is probably, he's just so happy because he's hard-boiled, been working in the underbelly of the city so long that he's just scrambled. And that's kind of where his character comes from. I don't remember what he was like in the cartoons when I was a kid. He is a likable character. He's enthusiasm. He's sort of this. He's a fan favorite, so he's got this very likable quality to him. Megatron or Proto Megatron. You know who he's gonna be for the entire time, but you can see how he's just boiling with rage when he finds out what's going on, and he was always kind of an angry person to begin with. But this started out as a friend's relationship between these two characters who become the arch nemeses of each other. And yeah, this is a solid film. I enjoyed it. I will say that if you're thinking this is a great film for young children, it is not. It is kind of on the violent side. And that's one of those things, it feels, I don't remember the rating, but it should be a PG-13 because there is a lot of robot death in there. These characters are not being brought back. There's actually one point where you kind of see these destroyed hulks of Transformers, and it's a concept of death. That's something that is in this movie. Again, understand this much, that this film does not necessarily fit into the continuity of anything else. It really should be seen as something that stands alone. Forget what you know about the franchise, and you'll do a little bit better understanding this. But it does belong in the upper middle of your watch list. It is a fun film. I enjoyed watching it. I never really wanted to walk away. I never really said, this is just driving me nuts. I enjoyed it. It is a fun, albeit juvenile film that will make your inner 14-year-old go, awesome! I love explosions and lasers! Anyway, that's just my opinion. And I'd love to hear yours down in the comments below. I, of course, am Richard.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. It's me, Randall, yet again. And you can see, in addition to my bracelets from Ferocean, each one representing a pound of trash pulled out of the ocean, I got me some Scooby-Doo and Save the Planet 2 medal from Koronker around my neck. Yes, Koronker, conquer something or other. Anyway, look, here's how this works. You walk, you sign up for this thing like the owner of this channel, you walk, they plant 5 trees, and send you this, Scooby-Doo thing. You can Scooby-Doo and Save the Planet 2, just like was done for this channel. So you can help this channel Scooby-Doo and Save the Planet 2 by commenting, liking, and subscribing. Or you could go do it yourself. So if you're lazy, click that like button, say something nice, and if you're not lazy, go sign up, maybe do some trick-or-treating, walk a haunted house, and then I want your face, which is a perfect thing to do right now. How I love human face.